What if today's world conflicts were echoes of ancient prophecies? What if the rise and fall of empires, the shifting alliances, and the wars over land and power were all part of a divine script written thousands of years ago? In the heart of Babylon, amidst golden idols and oppressive kings, a young exile named Daniel received visions that pierced through time, unveiling beasts that devoured nations, horns that uprooted kings, and a final war between the kingdoms of men and the kingdom of God. And in these visions, we find the axis of prophecy, a thread that runs through Israel, stretches across the Middle East, and reaches the global power of the United States. Could the lion with eagle's wings be more than just an ancient symbol? Could the ram and the goat clash again? This time on Modern Battlefields, in this episode, we step into the prophetic dreams of Daniel to uncover how the spiritual currents beneath Babylon's shadow still shape the destinies of nations. Prepare yourself for a journey through fire and revelation. For the axis is not just political, it is deeply spiritual. Long before tanks rolled across deserts, or diplomats gathered in gilded halls, there were dreams, night visions, divine whispers that pierced the veil of kings and prophets. It was the 6th century before Christ. The kingdom of Judah had fallen, Jerusalem reduced to ashes, and among the exiles, marched to Babylon, was a young man named Daniel, chosen by heaven, trained by empire. In the courts of Nebuchadnezzar and later Darius, Daniel served not merely as a political advisor, but as a prophetic vessel, and through him, God unveiled a panorama of world history. Through symbols fierce and mysterious, a statue, with a head of gold, chest of silver, belly of bronze, legs of iron, and feet, mixed with clay, each metal a kingdom, each empire, part of a divine countdown. Then came the beasts, a lion with eagle's wings, a bear raised on one side, a leopard with 4 wings, and finally a dreadful, terrifying beast with iron teeth and 10 horns. Daniel's visions laid the blueprint of geopolitics long before maps existed, foretelling Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome, and beyond them, a kingdom that would rise among the remnants, a little horn, arrogant, blasphemous, waging war against the saints. But this was not mere history. It was theology in motion, God showing his people that behind every empire, there is a spirit, and in the final days, the axis of power would not only be military or economic, but prophetic, a convergence of ancient promises, regional conflicts, and global players. And now, as the modern world orbits around Israel, the United States, and the Middle East, we must ask, are we watching Daniel's visions unfold in real time? Now we watch the vision from Babylon stretch across centuries to modern capitals, continents, and conflicts. The lion and eagle's wings, Israel, and the American alliance. Behold, a lion with eagle's wings. Could this lion be the ancient Babylon, or the rising Medo-Persian bear? Daniel saw it, a beast, regal and fierce, with wings added by devouring another. In modern times, we see a parallel. Israel, the ancient lion of the Middle East, and America, the eagle that gives it strength. Since 1948, their alliance has soared. The U.S. military shields Israel's skies. American aid rebuilds her towns and her technologies. A shared vision of democracy and divine destiny binds them together. Like wings to wings, 2 nations became one force, hovering above the storms of regional conflict. And yet, Daniel's vision warns, a beast's strength is fleeting. One day, the wings will be uprooted and the lion will walk alone. The bear raised on one side, Iran and proxy powers. Then another beast rising like a bear. Raised on one side, some say it represents the Medes and Persians. But today, we see its echo in the rise of Iran, a nation lifted. By one side, by Shia revolution, ideology, and proxy armies. From Damascus to Beirut, Tehran wields its influence. Hezbollah marching in Lebanon. Houthi missiles in Yemen, Iranian militias. Ringing Israel's borders, supported by Russia's arms. Opposed by US sanctions, Iran balances a heavy load on one shoulder. A modern bear straining to stand tall in a shifting world. As Daniel watched that bear, we watched a region poised on the brink, a swelling power grown out of forgotten empires. The leopard with 4 wings, the Gulf states and fast-rising powers. And behold, a leopard with 4 wings, of a bird on its back, 4 wings swift, agile, dominant. Some interpreters see the 4 kingdoms of Alexander's successors. But today, they may speak of the rise of the Gulf states, UAE and Saudi Arabia, racing into solar tech, commerce, cultural renaissance. Qatar, energy wealth, media influence, diplomatic reach. Turkey, bridging east and west, asserting regional power. They move swiftly, across sands and seas. Dubai, a city of lights. A Saudi vision for 2030, Qatar, hosting symbols of global unity. Turkey, reshaping NATO ties. 4 wings, each powerful, each fast, echoing Daniel's vision, a coalition, not of cavalry, but of networks, economies, and soft power. The terrifying beast with 10 horns, the global superbeast. And behold, another beast, dreadful, terrifying, exceedingly strong. It had 10 horns. This vision pierces our time. A final empire birthed from fragmented powers, yet united under one system. What could Daniel's monster represent today? Some see it in global governance, a loose alliance of regional powers, economic blocs, and digital networks capable of enforcing one worldview. A 10-horned beast emerges when powers shift. And U.S. influence, China anchors, BRICS, and new digital currencies. The Middle East reconfigures around new alliances. And Israel's spiritual destiny is tested when ancient olive trees uproot and modern dynasties converge. The world stands before a singular challenge: worship the beast systems or remain faithful to the God of Daniel. The little horn, persecution of the saints. Yet within the horns rises a little horn, lesser yet boastful, speaking great words, uprooting the daily sacrifices. This figure could symbolize a future global leader, a man of peace, a man with one world branding, a man demanding the world's worship. Persecution begins not only of Israel, but of the faithful remnant in every nation. Tomorrow's headlines may speak of trade embargoes, faith-based crackdowns, digital IDs, withholding access, all echoing Daniel's warnings. As Daniel's beasts advance across prophetic landscapes, we watch their shadows fall upon modern hallways and capitals. The U.S.-Israel bond trembling, arising in regional might, Gulf nations, transforming fast, a fractured beast pattern, slowly aligning, a little horn poised to speak on behalf of a godless unity. Props and politics are signs, but the battle is spiritual. Prophecy is not just about predicting, it is about perceiving. And now we step into the living battlefield. Israel, the fig tree that bloomed, a nation reborn from ashes, a people returned to their land, surrounded yet not consumed, loved and hated, adored and attacked, from the Golan Heights to the Negev, from Tel Aviv's tech towers to Jerusalem's holy stones. Israel stands at the heart of ancient promises and modern tensions. Jerusalem shall be a burdensome stone for all people, Zechariah 12:3. And so she is, her borders shift under pressure, her allies waver, and the threats multiply like locusts on every side. The United States, the fading eagle, once the undisputed defender of Israel, once a beacon of liberty, faith, and moral authority, but now its foundations crack internal division, moral confusion, economic instability. From the halls of Congress to the pulpits of fading churches, the spiritual light of America flickers, and prophecy asks, will the eagle continue to shelter the lion, or will its wings be plucked? The Middle East, the cauldron of coalitions, Syria in ruins, Lebanon collapsed, Iran emboldened, Saudi Arabia rethinking its alliances, the Abraham Accords reshaped old animosities, but peace with the West does not always bring peace with God. Turkey eyes Jerusalem with Ottoman dreams. Egypt seeks stability, but feels Babylon's pull. Iraq, a shadow of empires. Iran, the spirit of Persia, fans the flame of holy war. The region is a powder keg, and the spark may already be lit. China and the BRICS bloc, the shadow from the east. While prophecy seems focused on the Middle East and Rome, a silent force rises from the east. China, with its dragon-like strategy, establishes economic footholds. In Africa, Latin America, and even Israel, through technology, surveillance, digital currencies, a new order is being shaped, one not bound by biblical foundations, but forged in ideological fire. BRICS expands, creating a world where Babylon is no longer Western, but Eastern. And in this shift, the battle for global allegiance begins. Spiritual fault lines, a war beneath the surface. What we see on the news, treaties, weapons, elections, summits. But what heaven sees, altars, idols, scrolls, hearts. This is more than geopolitics. It is the final alignment of hearts, nations, and spirits. Who stands with truth? Who kneels to the beast? As lines are drawn, the people of God, Jew and Gentile, are called to discern. Not every peace is holy. Not every power is righteous. Not every leader is who they appear to be. In the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. Daniel 2:44. Empires rise, empires fall, but the kingdom remains. Empires tremble, kingdoms clash, prophecies unfold. But the greatest question is not who will rule the world. It is who will rule your soul. From Daniel's night visions to our daily headlines, we see a pattern. Man builds, God shakes. Man exalts, God humbles. Babylon fell, Persia faded. Greece fractured, Rome turned to dust. Each beast roared for a time, but none endured. And still a final beast rises. But unlike the others, it is cloaked in technology, globalism, tolerance, and promises of peace. It wears the mask of progress, but speaks like the dragon. He shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Daniel 7:25. It's not just about nations, it's about allegiance, hearts, worship. Daniel stood when others bowed. He prayed when the law forbade. He dreamed when others feared. He saw what kings could not. And now we are called to stand, because soon the Lion of Judah will roar. Soon the Ancient of Days will sit. Soon the books will be opened. And the court shall sit in judgment, and his dominion shall be taken away. Daniel 7:26. Not by vote, not by revolution, but by fire. Daniel's visions, the promises to Israel, the prophecies, echoing through the centuries, all point to one unshakable truth. And there was given him dominion, glory, and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom shall not be destroyed. Daniel 7:14. Not the kingdom of Persia, not the empire of Rome, not the dominion of any earthly nation, but the kingdom of the Son of Man. And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Double quotes. Luke 1:33. This is the axis the prophets saw. This is the final alignment of history, when the power of the nations collapses and the king assumes his rightful throne. Then the seventh angel sounded, and there were loud voices in heaven, saying, "The kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ, and he will reign forever and ever." Revelation 11:15. And on that day, Israel will see her Messiah. The nations will bow down, and the earth will know peace not through treaties or alliances, but through the reign of the eternal King. And to those who endure, to those who refuse the mark, who reject the idol, who cling to the Lamb, a crown awaits. A city with no need of sun, a kingdom unshaken where the saints shine like stars. Daniel saw beasts, but he also saw a throne. He saw chaos, but also the king. And now, as Babylon's shadow lengthens and the beast prepares his stage, the question is not, what will the nations do? But what will you do? We live in a day when prophecy moves from the scrolls to the headlines, and there is more to come, deeper mysteries, greater signs and revelations. The world is not ready to hear. Stay with us. Watch with us. Because the next revelation could change everything you believe about the times we live in. Subscribe now and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next prophetic revelation. Stand firm. Speak the truth. Live in holiness. Look up, because the King is coming and his kingdom has no end.